If I do that. Input. Okay. Now let's try this. Update this. Testing. Okay. What should be working? How about now? Yay. Okay. Sorry. Apparently I had my microphone turned off in my computer settings. So hey everyone, let's try this shit again. Hey Cheshire, hey Ginger, Misty, Heather, Peter, Sally, Nana Hook, Nana Hawk. I can't see. Peter, I think I already said Peter. Hey Jolly, Scarlett, Caroline, Zinger, RP, Sally Godfrey, Misty. I don't know if I said Misty already. Crystal. Hey Lee. Hey Heather. Diana. Mermaid in the ICU. I don't know why I shouldn't laugh at that. It's I don't know. It's so original. I don't know. It's like you wouldn't expect to find a mermaid there. I think. I don't know. Alexandra. Lauren. Inquiz. Straysky, what's up? All right. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to stream about today. I wanted to stream before work. I don't know. I guess we can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be drama even. It could be anything, really. What do you guys want to talk about? Actually, you know what? Here, when I do this, I haven't done this in a while. Drop this in case anyone wants to come on. So I haven't even been looking at social media too much today. So I don't really know. I was on Twitter for a little bit. And I sign on to Twitter now and I see there's some English lessons on there. Oh, holy shit, someone actually came on. Oh, I'm going to need headphones. Sorry. I'm on to Twitter now and I see there's some English lessons on there. 1 second. Oh, shit. 1 second.
Can the outside hear me right now? Hi. I just got out of the shower, if you can't tell. Thank you, Misty. I appreciate that. Hi, Peter. Hi. Everybody. Oh, awesome. I thought I'd just swing by and say hi. There's been shenanigans going on, so I thought I'd pop in for anybody who had any questions.
Okay. These aren't hooked up to the iMac and they take too long. Okay. Yay. Sorry. I hadn't planned on dropping the link, so I didn't think I need earbuds or whatever. I don't know. Why can't I hear now?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Now I can hear. All right. Yay.
That's because I wasn't saying anything.
Oh. Okay. There we do it.
There's been shenanigans afoot, so I figured I'd swing by and say hi and answer any questions or take the opportunity to just see how you were.
What shenanigans have been afoot? What have I missed?
I don't know. I don't think you missed anything. I think
Okay.
you saw everything pretty good.
Oh, the stream?
There's
Oh,
been
okay, yeah.
some Twitter shenanigans too. If you saw the comments about Kay and Steve being like, "I never said that."
I saw something last night because I commented on one of Kay's tweets. Let me see, where is it? It was the tweet that he had shared, and I went to like the conversation, or when this happened 4 months ago, Steve McRae told me I better leave the video up. In fact, he was furious when it was done, blah blah blah. So I had commented on that tweet of hers, just asking where, please show where they said to take it down the other night. Because I mean, I watched the stream and I didn't see anyone say that. So, and I said, I think we've had enough accusations without evidence. So please understand the desire to just see some evidence. So,
yeah, I think that's fair. I think when you're accused of things, I think it's fair that you ought to be allowed to ask. Like, if you're a victim of false accusations, you should be allowed to be like, hey, where are these accusations? And they shouldn't be it shouldn't fall onto the accused to suddenly be like, oh, okay, well, here's my entire life, and you're still not going to believe whatever I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. I don't understand this. And what I don't understand more than anything is, I mean, she doesn't have to listen to, I wouldn't even be talking about this right now if it wasn't made into this whole ordeal of like, we're being harassed or we're harassing her or whatever. Or it just seems, I don't know. It seems like
asinine.
Yeah. I mean, I mean no disrespect to Kay or anything like that. And I don't want to, I'm not giving her shit or whatever. Well, maybe a little, I'm not harassing her.
Some pushback.
Yeah, some criticism maybe. But I mean, like, people are allowed to feel a certain way about something you say or do. And if they speak of this, it's not harassment. I mean, it may feel, I get that it probably feels poorly to know that something you said or did is causing this, or you might have to face the result of your actions at times. And I get that sucks. Hell yeah. But that's not harassment. So
I think that sometimes people, when they're not used to getting pushback, when they're not used to kind of the way the internet kind of works, that people will feel harassed because multiple people have said the same thing to them. So they're like, yeah. Oh my God, why do people bring this up? I'm being harassed. And it's like, no, these are all individuals that are having the same thought process and the same feelings and reactions to what you're saying. And because each individual is saying something once, they're not all necessarily part of a group. Sometimes they are. And they're not all necessarily part of like some concerted effort to make you do something. Sometimes they are. And being able to recognize when that is the case and isn't is practiced, I should say.
Yeah, I want to be the first one to state that I don't want anything done out of the feeling of being forced to do anything. I want, if anything gets done, I want it to be because the person doing it wants to do it. It agrees, sees it, when it decides to do it. I don't want it done out of any kind of force or strong arm or whatever. It's whatever. And she doesn't have to do anything. And I'm be the first one to acknowledge that. But I mean, just because we're allowed to ask, and we've asked and we've been told no, and I'm not going to bring it up to her again. What's the point? So,
yeah, I think that's completely fair. I think analyzing what she said, what she's been saying is going to be, that is now people asked. And that's what I went there for. I just went there for clarification. That's all I wanted to know is what is going on, and maybe give me your reasoning. But I didn't even go that far to get reasoning because clearly there was no conversation that was actually happening. So I'm like, I'm not going to force a conversation on this woman. I don't know her from Waxy at this point. I don't know. Sometimes one of them says something and the other one says something, and one gets accused of this one saying it, but it was actually that one that said it. I don't know. So I was just there for clarification and to see if we could get any kind of answer, even if the answer was, no, I'm not doing anything. Because that's fine. And I even said that, I'm pretty sure, during the live, I was like, the answer can be no. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not going to give it really any pushback. I just want to know what the answer is. But then understand that if you say you to everyone, then everybody's also going to be allowed and able to respond to the answer that you gave, and that's still not going to be harassment.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, especially when you have a YouTube channel. I mean, and you're interacting with people, on YouTube, and you're having people on your stream and you're discussing people. I mean, you're going to get a lot of people who have feelings about the things said and done on your channel. It's just, they're allowed. So
it's the welcome to the internet thing. It's
I know, right?
Right. It's the internet, and most of the people that I've seen that were accused of things in Kay's stream have been far kinder to Kay than I have seen happen on the internet in general, sometimes just on a basic misunderstanding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, my mouth about dropped open though when I was watching the stream, and there are two parts that I sat there like dumbfounded, and one of them was, when she said to you, "I feel like you're here intimidating me or threatening me."
I'm very scary. I'm
Yes.
a very scary person.
Yeah, you were there threatening her, and I'm like, what? How do you get that? And then the part when she said it wouldn't go against her agenda or something like that. I'm like, does she realize what she's claiming her agenda is? What?
Yeah, I watched your stream, and that point about the agenda, like, what makes it what brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm like, that's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. But the you're threatening me, you had the same reaction that I did. I was just like, what? How? With what? What are you talking about? And I think that was somebody that gave pushback during, I think it was last night's stream. I think there was like the flame something in your chat that had said that I said the harassment would continue. Just to clarify
the fire
that.
Within, I think, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To clarify that, they make a fair point if that's how it sounded. But what I had actually said was, where are you being harassed? I know you're in the hot seat and I know you're getting pushback, but where is the harassment? Because those two things are not the same thing. And I kind of demonstrated that when she put me in the hot seat to be like, no, I got to give you pushback. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel harassed. I'm not harassed by you giving me this pushback. Or are you saying that what you're doing is now harassment towards me? Because that would have to be the case if that was consistent. And the thing is that if you do not address criticism in an appropriate way, then yes, people are going to keep having a problem with what you're doing, especially when it keeps being a problem. It's an ongoing issue.
Yeah, it's like the Barbara Streisand effect.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, if you're going to say, understand that if you're going to say, well, no, I'm not doing anything, screw you guys, those people have every right to be like, well, screw you too, right? So you got to kind of pick and take and pick and choose pick your battles, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I've had a couple of comments too, here and there, kind of asking me why we're only going after Kay.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was like, very confused. I saw somebody say that on Twitter, and I immediately posted my tweet of, I put Waxy in a nun habit and praying and put hashtag blessed by Waxy and told her to go fuck herself.
Yep. I find it funny though that the people want us to go after Nat, and don't get me wrong, Nat gets pushback, or I mean, Nat catches shit anywhere in this community she shows up, but that's just the way it is. But she's also the only one who's retracted the statements. I mean, so
Nat's the only one I actually did a video on. So to say I haven't given Nat any pushback is kind of bizarre. Right.
Yeah.
At least up to this point. I have another stream that I think I'm gonna do that I'm doing tonight to talk about this. Like, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna rewatch it, and I'm gonna be like, okay, let's look at what was good, let's look at what was bad, let's look at what we missed, because there was one thing I missed because I was in the midst of coming in, so I had the stream muted and didn't hear what they were saying because of the delay. And Kay had said something about, oh, well, not if she's going to behave the way she does with me on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I went and did a quick search because I'm like, I've never interacted with Kay at all, as far as I know.
I was gonna
So
say,
I went, yeah. So I went and did a search on Twitter to say from me to her and from her to me. No results.
Not even like in a subtweet or something. I don't know how it works. I know that there's like you tweet, like you reply directly to a tweet, or if you reply to like 3 tweets removed, or I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah, I just did a general search to see if I had ever interacted with her positively or negatively in any kind of direct way, and I found Twitter came up with nothing. So I'm like, I don't think I've ever interacted with this person. I remember the stream that everybody was talking about in that it happened, but I didn't watch it. Not when it happened, because I was like, this is 5 hours long and I don't care.
Oh, did you watch today? I've been revisiting a lot of these streams from right back then, because I'm trying to see if I can pinpoint whereabouts this whole narrative or whatever, like, I don't know, was birthed into existence or some shit. And so I'm visiting, like, there's the people who pushed it the most. That I'm visiting streams in which they were on the panel of, and one of the streams, like, it looks like the first place that really made this grow legs is I'm not even sure. I think it started to grow a lot on Little Red's chat, because like Waxy liked to go on there a lot, and despite Little Red's efforts to try and shoot it down, because Little Red knew it was bullshit, it still took off. But the Little Miss Noble stream on Kay Baxter's channel, that I think kind of really, I don't know, brought it into fruition.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these that I haven't seen and like just was not aware of, because I was like, I don't know what any of this is. Believe it or not, Steve and I are not attached at the hip. So stuff that's bothering him or going after him is not always within my sphere. So one of the interesting things that I found was, because now I've seen Kay's stream for the most part. There's a couple things, and then I've seen also most of the stream that I was on. So there's still like clips and bits that I've obviously not seen, because it's only been a couple days and I haven't gone back to watch it, the whole thing at least. But one of the things I noticed that you highlighted that I didn't, because I came into that stream, I hadn't seen beforehand,
right?
So because it was live. And so one of the things you brought up was that she was talking about the numbers on the video. She was saying that, hey, it had 6,000 and then it stopped gaining any numbers. And I think the number is like, what'd she say, 20, 30K views on it?
She's estimating that in between 20 and 30,000 views, yes.
So I find it bizarre that you're going to, on one hand, brag about how many views and numbers this video that essentially is slandering people has on your channel, and then turn around and be like, but I'm not responsible because people who follow me know. Well, you have 4K subscribers compared to the 30K you're saying saw the video? Like, really?
Yeah, and like she pointed out, and I'm sure it's true that my subs know the truth, and because your subs are probably in large part sub to us too, or they're part of the community anyway. So that's not the problem. It's, for me anyways, it's people like, what if people do a search? Well, I don't want to do the what ifs. I don't like using that as a debate or argument or whatever, but people will search. Right. But I mean, I think it's even more than that. Like, people will do a search for us online for whatever reason, whether it's for dating, for employment, for whatever, so there's a good chance that this shit will come up. So I think it's important to have the updates, or have updated information. So when this shit comes up in searches, when people come across it organically or whatever, that they just, they have the as much of it as they can get, updated, so they can see, okay, well, sure, this happened. Yes, the stream happened. Everything that was said, I'm all for that, but now that there's more information out there, just tie it to it. That's it.
Yeah, it's the algorithm, right? And the algorithm is
Yeah.
going to pull up whatever it's going to pull up, depending on your tags, depending on the time, depending on yada 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 yada. But this is what I mean by the people we're talking about in this situation do not understand how the internet works and how their actions are affected. I am convinced that Kate does not understand the criticism she is getting. She thinks she does. She thinks it's this thing. It's not this thing. It's this thing over here. This is the problem. And because you think that you've addressed the criticism, but the reason why people are still having you in the hot seat and still giving you the criticism is because you've addressed this criticism that you think they're giving, and it's not the criticism they're giving. So you've never actually addressed their criticism because you don't know what they're criticizing you about.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes there's a wall there. Sometimes it's like you get emotional, you get upset, you get defensive. And when you get defensive, it's really hard to listen to what people are saying.
It is, yes. And
especially when you have a chip on your shoulder.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I got the impression that was the issue last night. And I'm not going to fault her so much for that. I mean, especially myself, I get like that often, I think, probably.
It happens to everybody.
Right.
It happens to everybody.
I like to think that I don't stay there long because for the most part, I think when people get like that, by the next morning or whatever, they're over it, and then they can address it more, logically or rationally or whatever. I like to think that that's me. Whether it's not, it is, I don't know. But so
I initially actually had no intention of going over this either on my channel or anybody like anywhere else or talking about it again. I was going to be like, no, okay, whatever. I think everybody got their answers.
Yeah.
I go on my merry way.
Exactly. Yeah. But she gave us her answer loud and clear. I mean, the fact that it's still the way, everything's still the way it is. It's, there's no question of what her answer is. And it's fine. She has every right to decide whatever she wants. I'm not going to give her shit for it or whatever, but.
Right. And people are just as equally allowed to be upset by that answer and explain why they're upset about it, particularly the people who are the victims in this case, who are the people who are getting false.
That's the thing. I mean, like, I'm not going to give a shit for it. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm, whatever. It is what it is. But don't think for 1 second, though, that now that, because up until this point, it could be easily argued, and I support the argument that she just, it was an unknown, just any kind of effect or how people felt about it, or whatever. Okay, fine. But make no mistake about it, though, there's no unknown now. I think it's pretty clear how people feel about it. So now I feel like every day that stream sits there the way it is with no update or whatever is her supporting this information, this false information being out there, like knowingly, like she's willfully supporting this now, I feel like. Because
that, and the thing is like that kind of an addendum or that kind of annotation added would help her in that the 30,000 people out of the 4,000 that also follow her who don't follow her would then be able to easily see that if she doesn't support this kind of thing, would easily be able to see that she doesn't support that kind of thing.
Yeah, you brought that up. You brought that up last night. I hadn't even thought about that. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't the update. It wouldn't be just for our benefit. It would be for hers too.
Yeah, right. She thinks she's in the hot seat and she doesn't want to be in the hot seat anymore. Well, how do you get out of the hot seat? But then me saying that turns into, well, you're threatening me to say this hot seat's going to continue. That's not me threatening you. That's just a fact. Yeah. If you don't address stuff, it doesn't go away. Katie Joy is a very good example of that. If you don't address something properly, it stays forever, and people will bring it up whenever it is relevant to bring it up, and some people will bring it up when it's not relevant to bring it up.
Oh, it didn't she say last night in her stream that that she expected the I don't know, the chatter about this to come about again due to a comment Tina left or something on the stream? Like, isn't that what she said? Something like that? Okay, because I'm wondering why she then stated that we've all been going after her for 4 months now.
Yeah, it's a conflation, right? It's conflating when people were critical of when all that stuff first came out And then her saying,
Right.
oh, there's evidence, I'll get you the evidence, yada, yada, yada. And then months down the line, evidence comes out on Shen's channel with Irish, and then people bring it back up again to be like, because I noticed something that I thought was kind of odd. Again, I wasn't there to debate or discuss or argue, so I didn't bring any of this up because that's not what I was there for. There was, I don't understand why Kay and Irish both are saying, yeah, no, Natalie also confirmed this, yada, 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 and they're going to use Natalie to confirm things in this way, but then completely brush off or ignore whatever Nat has said about them. Because Nat accused Kay in one of her streams of knowing what was going on and purposefully setting up Steve and setting up that call, knowing it was crap, knowing it was garbage. So how are you going to have Nat be the thing that like exonerates you or these people in this case, and then turn around and completely ignore Nat when at the same time she's accusing you of things?
Yeah, that's the problem with Nat, I think, because I have found myself doing the same thing, pushing one thing she said while condemning, the other thing she said because it's Nat. Come on, you can't trust Nat, and I've caught myself doing that, and that's the problem. I mean,
it's hard to do sometimes. It's hard to find like, oh my God, see, this is exactly what I was talking. Confirmation bias can be spooky, and it's very easy to slip into that. And this is why when I did this is one of the only reasons I talked about Nat, was specifically because this person is useless, not as an individual, but as a source. Like, you cannot trust anything that she says. And so when you've got Irish saying, here's the conversation I had with Nat, and this is what Nat was saying, I mean, maybe you can trust Irish that is in fact what Nat said, but you can't trust what Nat said in the first place.
Right. Yeah. And even then, since Shen streamed there, Nat has come out, and I want to say that she's said it. No, I don't think she's said it was bullshit. She said something somewhere.
She's gone both ways since that stream has come out.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought I remembered her. Yeah, going both ways. Yeah,
and one where she's like, yeah, all these people are exonerated. None of these people did anything, confirming the same kind of stuff that Irish was saying, and then immediately turned around and said that was all lies and garbage. That was my yada 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 yada. Kay actually set me up. Yada yada yada. And it was just like, you can't. Nat on her own is not a good enough source. You need to be able to verify whatever she's saying separately. So if you're going to say Steve did this, or you're going to say Kay did this, you can't have your only source be Nat. That might be a reason why you go to double check or why you go to look. They might be like, hey, Nat said this thing. Let me look into this. Okay, sure. But you've got to do the looking into part.
Yeah, exactly. I was the first one to use the words exonerated too, due to Nat and everything. I was the first one to, kind of push that and everything. But the more I thought about it, and like, again, to point out, like, who can trust or believe Nat? Her saying what she said, I don't feel exonerates anyone. I think it's a step towards it. I feel like it's definitely in the favor of exoneration and towards it. Yeah, absolutely. But first of all, she's not the only one who made these accusations. There were several people, and the rest of them are just completely silent on Mander. So their accusations are still out there. They're out there unretracted, uncontradicted, anything, unupdated, whatever. They're all out there, and the people who made them are just sitting back, keeping quiet. So, and the people who made the other people who made these accusations, they are actually more trusted, believed, and respected in this community, far more so than Nat. So in actuality, one of them saying, oops, my bad, I was wrong, would go 10 times farther than anything Nat has said.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. The thing is with Nat is that it puts Nat saying what she did shows how unreliable she is as a source. And so you don't have to believe what she said in any regard, but it indicates that you can't believe anything that she said. So when you go and look at Kay's stream, when you go and look at streams that were covering this, when you look at Shen's and Irish's video talking about what Kay had told to Irish in those recorded calls, it marks an indication that if you're getting your information and any of your accusations were based or bolstered by Nat, all that's gone. Any bolstering you were getting, any backup you were getting, anything. So like Katie Joy claiming that Steve sent death threats and was in contact with Nat, based on Nat telling her that, garbage. Complete, throw that out.
Yeah.
Katie doesn't have to say anything because it was entirely based on Nat. So if you can backtrack where these people were getting this information, and if it was from Nat or Nat was bolstering what they were saying, throw it out the window. Into the sun. Where it belongs.
Oh man, I don't know. It just I can't just get over the whole like why.
It's a lot.
I mean, I get even if I were just very bitter, just very pissed off, like even if I felt like I looked like a fool, which I don't think Kate looks like a fool at all. I don't, but I get the impression that she feels like she does. But even if I felt like that, I wouldn't. I don't think I would sit there and not realize that I would look more like a fool by not doing the responsible thing. I don't. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, this is such an easy, non-big deal, as much as it could be, right? So, because some of the accusations were pretty horrendous. And so you could easily make a big deal out of that and go after people for that. But I haven't seen any, like I said earlier, I think a lot of the people who have been accused have been very gracious in their behavior and in their handling of these situations, which is, props to their characters, including yourself. And so it's so easy for Kay to have responded with something along the lines of, yeah, you know what? I believed some of this at the time. And, I was agreeing with Katie to placate her, to get her, to keep her on the channel and keep her talking. I didn't actually agree with what she was saying, but I needed to nod along to keep the conversation going. And new information has come out, and the stuff that was said in here pretty much seems to all be bunk. I'm going to leave it up for the sake of prosperity so people can see and reference it as needed and wash her hands of it completely. And she would have been completely in the clear. And nobody, the only criticisms people might have is, I don't think you handled this particular thing correctly in your interview talk. But then she can say, yeah, I was just trying to do this, or I was trying to do that. And so it's done. What? Done. But I don't know why she's just being a dick to everybody for no reason.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I mean, this one comment too I had on the video. It's not the I don't think it's a video. Wait a minute. That's right. It's not the video. It's not the re-upload. It's the unlisted one now. That's where the comment came in, and it was just left minutes ago. That's weird. So it must be someone who already commented under a different screen. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm overthinking something. But this comment though I got though. Yeah, I'm reading it, and it's just, it read like if you took the opposite of what transpired in this stream, it read like a description of that. And it just seems very and personally invested, very, I don't know, bitter. And I trying to figure out why that is. I mean, even if it's, I don't know.
I was rewatching Manya's because Kay accused people, Steve's crew, whoever, of sending unfair, harassing her. So I went and looked at Manya's review of Kay's video with Katie Joy and Nat, and that the whole instigation to this. And I was listening to what Manya was saying to see if Manya said anything terribly harsh or cruel.
Right,
and I'm no, she didn't. She's just you could have done better. I expected better from you. And one or two times she was like, wait, what was that? Why are you doing this? But she didn't say anything like, you're a bad person, f you. right? Yeah. It was pretty measured, I would say. I'm being more measured than I intend to be on my channel when I go over this, because I have a couple of things where I'm going to be like, here's what you said. Here's what it says over here.
Yeah. Honestly, and I would be the same way. I feel like I kind of got it all out last night when I did that, and also too because
Yeah.
I kind of did it twice because I had to correct some things, and even then the audio still came out all fucked up. I don't even know how that happened, but so I was like, I'm not going to do it again, but I do. But since I did it twice, I felt like I got it all out. But I mean, there's as far as it, but then I start reading comments and stuff, and I'm like reminded of shit, or I learn more new shit, and it's like, really, just I don't get it. But
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like I said, I wasn't intending on making any kind of video or
right,
really talking about this at all. But with sort of the response that there's been, positive and
yeah,
negative, I'm like, you know what? Considering that this is now buried in a 4-hour stream, it
yeah,
might be beneficial to like take it out and hyper focus, because I'm only going to cover that like 20 or so minutes. I'm just going to hyper
right,
focus and be like, this is what was said. This is what that means. This is and just be like, this needs to be like, I'm going to dissect this a little bit, and I don't want to be unnecessarily harsh when I'm not showing anything, particularly on somebody else's channel. Like we're talking right now, I don't have the clips to pull up to like again, I don't want to make accusations without being able to back it up. Weird. What a concept.
Oh, that's funny. Oh well, I mean, whatever. She's the one who's got to. She's the one who's got to deal with how she looks. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for her, if anything, because she's going to keep like feeling like the victim, even though she's not. But whatever.
Probably. If the mentality stays the way it is, and maybe she doesn't like after a couple of days be like, oh wait, or maybe after enough more positive, because a lot of the criticism I've seen of her has been constructive.
Yeah,
Like it's been constructive criticism.
Yeah,
not to say that standard criticism is bad, but
right,
a lot of it has been constructive.
Right, it has been, and like even the people who've commented on my video and everything, who've been like, wow, you know, like they're seeing some, you know, some shocking behavior or whatever, however you want to word it. But even then, there people are just. I think the worst thing I've seen said about her in my comments was, wow, she's not who I thought she was. Like that. That's it. So.
Yeah, it's interesting to see most of the people that I've seen that are in these communities not only be respectful in their approach. Like I don't think I've seen anybody like lose their mind and leave like some horrendous comment.
Yeah.
Right.
How is she? I mean, how has she given any examples of this harassment on Twitter? I mean, I was kind of curious about that. I mean, I didn't even know like people were upset with her.
No, I knew that she was getting a little bit of pushback and she was getting a little bit of heat, and there were a couple of people that were pretty like I saw a screenshot from Tina leaving her comment, right? And so I saw people supporting Tina and being like, wow, that's kind of crummy of Kay, but I mean, that's really not that. Considering some of the criticisms I've seen and some of the harassment I've seen, I'm hard pressed. Everything's relative, but I find it more of a I felt like I was talking to an elderly person that demanded respect in a way that is not how respect works. Like in a way that she wants to be treated as an authority based on nothing versus mutually earned and given respect.
Right.
Like I felt like
exactly.
I was like if my grandmother decided she wanted to be a jerk to me one day and be like, well, how dare you speak to me like that? And I go like, what? Don't talk back to me. What? That's what it felt like.
Yep. Yeah, Waxy made me feel like that once.
It's almost like a buzzword.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, Waxy. She snapped at me once on Little Red Stream. I was on panel and I was talking or something. She's like, "Oh, stop it, Aaron." I'm like, "No, Waxy, I'm not going to stop it." And she snapped at me. I was like, "Holy shit!" Caught me off guard.
It's strange to me. I'm like, the thing is like I'm not a person that's easily bullied. And so usually when I have my intentions of how I'm going to go in, they were up here. They were, as soon as I was around, my presence caused their stream to go from like a here to a here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I will be here and I will stay here. It does not matter what you say. Or I've started calling it like the Gary treatment. Because when I did that 6-hour long conversation with Gary, it was like, I need to go into this with the mentality of they're going to be upset or they're going to be way over here. And I am just going to maintain. We're going to stay chill. We're going to relax. It's not going to be a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hear you. Okay. All right. My dog's going to start barking and bothering me. I'm going to have to take her out. So, yeah. Yeah. Punchy. Hi, Punchy. Hey. She doesn't want to turn to where her ass isn't in my direction because I was just petting her ass and she wants me to continue.
Butt scratches.
Oh, Punchy. What? Don't do it. I thought she was going to bark. I was like, don't do it. It's loud. All right, I'm coming. Chill. All right, so yeah, I'm going to wrap this up because I have to go to work in a half an hour. I'm just going to do a quick stream here. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I was going to try not to talk about this, but it's on my mind, so I'm kind of glad I got
Oh, crap, sorry. I ruined everything.
No, it's been on my mind, and like I said, I was just in my comment section. It was just, so I'm kind of glad I got to. So
well, good.
I'm gonna look for your stream though tonight because I'm only working for a few hours. So.
Okay, I'm going at 6 p.m. my time, so in about an hour. So I'm going earlier today because there's stuff tonight.
I'm at the slow job though today, so I can listen while I work, so I can do that.
Oh, there you go. Well, I look forward to knowing that you're listening.
Awesome. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Bye.